Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Let's go ahead and recap the last 2 days. Technically, I didn't make a video yesterday. I did post my picks on Instagram yesterday, so we'll talk about that. But we'll talk about the last video I did post. Took the day off yesterday. Going to take about 2 days each month when there's some lower NBA action. Only 4 games yesterday, so I decided to take the opportunity yesterday to help my fiance out with the kid. Obviously, it's a lot of work to take care of a kid, and she takes care of him the majority of the time. So I'm gonna give her a couple days in a month where I just take her for the day and she can just do whatever she wants to do, so she can enjoy her life a little bit. So I took the day off yesterday. If you understand, you understand. If you don't, go have a kid and you'll understand. With that being said, let's go ahead and recap. Not yesterday, but the day before. The day before that, we did go 0-3. I'll throw it up on the screen. We do own up to our losses just as we own up to our wins. Ticket just about shot right from the beginning. De'Aaron Fox got injured in the first quarter after having an 8-point first quarter. It's pretty hard to think that he wouldn't have hit his line. Davion Mitchell ended up finishing with like 23 or 25, something like that. So his backup point guard scored his line. So he would have eventually got there. I think he would have had a pretty good night. Got injured his leg or something in the first quarter, ended up not playing the rest of the game. Kyrie Irving falls a bucket short after getting off to a really slow start. Had a really bad night again last night, did Kyrie Irving. So he's on a downward slump after having a really good little stretch there. Bogdanovich ended up hitting late. Really what kept him in the game to have the ability to hit his line is that I think the Pistons got down by like 20 twice. Early in the first half, they got down big, fought their way back, and then late in the second half, they got down big and fought their way back. Really, had the Bucks held on to the lead that they had on them, he wouldn't have had a shot. But some buckets later in the game is what ended up giving Bojan right up there at his line. I think he had 23 on that night. So, I'm just gonna go with the numbers. The Bucks were really good against power forwards. It was looking good early, just didn't quite finish. Didn't quite finish the way I wanted to that night. So we did go 0-3 that night to end out the month of October. That was Halloween. And then to start out the month of November, yesterday's slip that I didn't end up throwing up on Instagram was right here. The lock of the day was Wendell Carter over 10.0 rebounds versus Thunder. Went ahead and cashed for us. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 25.5 points, cashed for us. And Bam Adebayo over 31.5 PRA. Shouldn't have cashed, but it did. Warriors took a last-second shot, as you guys saw at the beginning of the video, and he got the rebound. And pushed him over because he was at 31. So we'll take it. A win is always a win. So undefeated to start the month. Started the month with a sweep, and we have got 2 picks for you today. I'm going to try to drop this video super early compared to what I normally do. I normally do around noonish to around 2. I'm going to drop this video super early because people asked for this, so I'm going to do it. But the downside of posting videos super early is that a lot of lines aren't out. 4 full games aren't even up as player props right now. They're not even available. So, and then a couple of teams, there's a Boston versus Cleveland game, but no Cleveland lines are out. So I'm going to show you guys 2 lines that I really love, and then I'll have to update you on Instagram what ends up being the 3rd pick. I'm leaning towards Anthony Simons, one of those guys. So I've got 2 picks today that I do absolutely love, and so we'll hop into it. Let's get it. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, in the link down in the description below, I have a link that takes you straight to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy, because you're going to want to hop in on the action this year. They have added a whole bunch of new features to Underdog Fantasy this year, starting with the brand new insurance feature, okay? This insurance feature is a new thing that has been super requested for the fans and the customers of Underdog Fantasy. Essentially, all you do is you click insurance right here, and if you can see right there, all you have to do is hit 4 of these picks to win, but the value does drop down. So if you turn off the insurance, you do a $10 bet, you obviously get $200. And if you turn on the insurance feature, it drops down a multiplier down to 10. But if you miss one of these picks, say Jameis Winston gets hurt or something, he doesn't end up throwing 2 touchdown passes. But everybody else hits, like Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All these guys hit. You still hit the slip. You just get it for $100. Just goes down a multiplier, which is a huge feature a lot of people have been asking for, so they received it. Also, they have added second half lines now to games. Obviously, it is on. There is nothing up because there's no NFL second half games, but they have added NFL second half. So just like for the Thursday night game, I'll throw up that clip right here. Thursday night, they dropped all the second half lines for that Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. They've added a bunch of new features this year. They're trying to improve to get the app better for you guys. Also, when you sign up, if you use code TAKEMYSHOT, you'll get $100 match, up to $100 match and 100% deposit match on your first time deposit. So if you do that, you can deposit $50, you get an extra $50, $20, you get an extra $20. Whole lot of stuff coming with Underdog Fantasy this year. Make sure you sign up with code TAKEMYSHOT. Now let's get to today's bets. All right, man. Today's lock of the day. You don't have to think about it too hard. It's the villain himself. Give me Trey Young today. over 28.5 points versus the New York Knicks in New York City at the Madison Square Garden. This line is already raised. I've been up since about 6 o'clock because I was going to try to make this video super early so I could get it out, but there was just like no lines at all. So Trey Young over 28.5 points has already raised. It was 27.5 this morning when I was starting to look at it. They've even already bumped his PRA line a bunch. It started out at 38 this morning. He's all the way up to 20, or started at 38 this morning, and it's all the way up to 41.5. So they are bumping up Trey Young like crazy. So you're gonna want to hop on him before the night gets before it gets too close to the night ending there. In his last game in New York City, dropped a smooth 45 points. Did Trey Young? Last season he had 45, 29, and 33. So he hit over in all three matchups last year, averaging 36 points per game versus the New York Knicks. He's coming into the night averaging 29 points per game. That average should be higher. He had a rough night versus the Toronto Raptors a couple nights ago. He had 14 and 10 turnovers. Rough night against that Toronto defense, which makes a lot of sense. With that being said, I think the fact that he had that rough night last night, he is going back to the Square Garden. Same kind of reason why he puts up crazy numbers versus the Bucks all the time too. I think that 2019 run that they had, that kind of always just sticks in the back of Trey Young's mind. Of course, New York City probably sticks in the back of Trey Young's mind. He always wants to be the villain there. How the Knicks have fared against point guards this year. The numbers aren't good. They're not bad. And it makes sense because they haven't really played any elite point guards. They've played 2 elite point guards to this point in the season. And they both got dropped off. They both dropped them off. They played John Morant, who had 34, and they played Donovan Mitchell, who had 38. So the 2 all-star MVP caliber point guards that they have played did get good buckets against them. The other guys that they've played, Cade Cunningham only had 15. Cole Anthony only had 14 in 29 minutes. Dennis Smith Jr. had 14. Drew Holiday had 16. Those average to mid-level point guards, dropped average to mid-level points. But when they played all-star point guards, they did drop massive buckets versus them both, scoring well over 30. It is a 22 point per game average versus the Knicks from starting point guard, so still not too bad. Do you think that the average is 22 and Trey Young needs to get to 29 and he's an elite scoring point guard? Not too crazy to think that he can't hit that line. So give me Trey Young today versus the New York Knicks over 28.5 points as today's lock of the day. All right, second play of the day. I never thought there would be the day where I would be taking this guy's over, but give me Splash Mountain, Brook Lopez, over 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This is what's crazy to me, okay? Again, like I said, I've watched Milwaukee Bucks football, or basketball, I don't know why I said football, for years now. And Brook Lopez, to this point in his career, he plays like 20 to 25 minutes a game. Defensive anchor, doesn't really help offensively, has moments, right? But he's kind of just a big guy out there. In the entire 2022 season, regular season, he did not play 30 minutes once. In the 2023 season, he's averaging 31 minutes a game. He's getting the most usage he's ever had as a Milwaukee Buck to this point in his career. It's showing in his stats. On the year, he's averaging 15, 7, and 1. So he's averaging 23 points, rebounds, and assists on the year, averaging that. It's not even mining, in fact, how he's done the last 3 games. His last 3 games, he's hit his over by miles. He's at 27, 27, and 33, and that 33 PRA game was against the Detroit Pistons, who he plays today again. How the Detroit Pistons have fared against centers this season, against starting centers, they gave up 25 to Wendell Carter. They gave up 14 PRA. This is PRA, of course. 14 PRA to Mitchell Robinson. Jalen Smith went off on him. He had 35 PRA. Kristaps Porzingis had 28 PRA. Clint Capella had 18 and 16 PRA. Kevon Looney had 13, and Brook Lopez had 33. That means starting centers versus the New York Knicks through 7 games are averaging 21 PRA. So right where Brook Lopez's line is, never minding the fact that he just had a 33 PRA game against them last game. He's shooting the 3 ball quite well. Like I said, just getting the minutes. He's getting the production to this point in the season. He's hit a 3 in 4 straight games, which, again, I don't think he's done that as a Milwaukee Buck, at least one. Some games he goes like 0 for 9, and that's kind of how Brook Lopez goes most of the time, but he's been connecting. He's hitting his free throws. He's rebounding the ball really well. His rebound line was actually a line that I've been keeping track on the last couple of days because beginning of the season it was like 5.5, went up to 6. Now it's all the way up to 6.5. He's been rebounding the basketball really well, which normally when a guy like Giannis is on your team, you're not going to get that many rebounds, but he's been getting a lot of rebounds. He's hitting his threes. He's getting a lot of buckets. He's getting minutes. So give me Brook Lopez today versus the Detroit Pistons over 20.5 PRA. All right, guys. So that's going to be our only 2 picks for the video. It's currently 9:30 in the morning, and there's still 12 teams that don't even have lines out yet. Anywhere. I looked. I thought it was just Underdog just didn't have lines for them yet. It's anywhere. I'm looking at other sports books. Other sports books don't have anything. It's Wob Wednesday, so I like to do more picks on Wob Wednesday because a lot of teams play on Wednesday. But it looks like I'm probably just gonna have to throw my third pick up on Instagram a little bit later in the day today. I have an idea kind of what I want. LeBron versus the Lakers. It was averaging like 36 a game last year versus LeBron versus the Pelicans. Excuse me. Was averaging like 36 a game last year versus the Pelicans. So LeBron's point line is kind of what I'm thinking of. Anthony Simons versus the Grizzlies. Obviously, I really liked his line the other day. We'll kind of see what that drops at. Kings versus Heat. So kind of like a Sabonis line maybe in that one. I'm kind of Davion Mitchell, especially because De'Aaron Fox is out. So there's a couple lines I'm interested in. Just they haven't come out yet. So those two I know I do love. For a matter of fact, those won't change. The Brook Lopez and Trey Young line will not change. So far the locks of the day, or the picks of the day, are Brook Lopez and Trey Young. Trey Young over in his points, Brook Lopez over in his PRA. I will add a third one, maybe even probably a fourth and fifth on Instagram. So I'll throw Instagram up right here. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I'll also be throwing up on Twitter. I've been a lot more active on my Twitter. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter there too, I'll be posting some stuff on Twitter. So with that being said, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. A shorter one, sorry. But again, there's not a whole lot I can do if there's no lines out. I can just make kind of projections of what I kind of like for the upcoming games today. But going to have to just update on Instagram. And so with that being said, guys, I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.